What up, what up, what up? Thank y'all for joining us
What's
on
up?
another smoke session. I'm your boy, Brother Jam,
I'm your boy, Boggy Hand over here.
But the little son of Cam.
and we are the Daily Smoke, and thank you for joining us on
I'm
the
doing my
smoke
Charlie
session.
Murphy. I'm doing my Charlie Murphy.
We ain't gonna even talk about what you're doing, Negro. But thank you for joining us on the smoke session. As always, glad to have you. And we actually are going live on Instagram right now while we are filming this. So if you happen to be following us on Instagram, or if you're not following us on Instagram, go follow us on Instagram, The Daily Smoke, the.daily.smoke on Instagram.
Any damn
So
dots.
please check it out.
Actually watching us now.
Yeah, we got a couple of people in there. Let's see. Yeah, we got we down to one. We had two.
So just you.
Yeah,
I know somebody got to be out there.
yeah, somebody's watching, but that's okay though. But you know what? I'm probably actually gonna go ahead and end the live for right now since nobody's really in there. But thank y'all for joining us on live. We might do this more often because I kind of like that as a concept. But all right. So thank y'all for joining us as always on the smoke session. We appreciate y'all liking, sharing, subscribing, and doing all those fun YouTube things with us. We also
You old.
That's crazy. Now that
nigga, I know you ain't talking.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is there.
I know you not talking about nobody being old.
What? Jesus owed me money. What? That's all I know.
That's how old you are?
That's how old that nigga is.
So you'd be what, 2022 years old? Or older?
That
I'm
sound
3
about
years
right
old.
for B.
I'm 3 years old. Fuck it.
That sound about right for B.
I'm a baby.
But man,
I'm a baby.
so how you been doing, brother, man?
Oh,
Everything's
dude.
going good?
Other than life and heat in Texas, I'm good.
Oh, Jesus, don't get me started talking about this heat, man.
Shit, you can't escape.
Man, my AC been out since Saturday.
Ooh, I feel for you, bro.
My God.
By the time
Yeah.
this airs, we'll be deep in the summer. We'll be at the beginning of summer.
Man,
He's gonna lose about 5 pounds, 20, 30
dude,
pounds.
why you bullshitting? Okay, look, here's the real. So, been sweating all weekend long, right? Because the AC's been out of my house.
Sweat it off.
They got to replace the whole
Unit.
outside unit. But here's the thing: is I got dressed this morning and I noticed all my clothes was actually fitting looser. Like I think I sweated off a couple pounds
That's crazy.
over the course of the
It's
weekend,
a
dude.
sauna. It's a
Like
sauna.
I really do think like I sweated off some weight. So I don't know if that's even possible that fast in just 2 days. But
Well-
I've been sweating a lot.
Well, you have to remember part of your majority of your body is with water. So
It
That's
could
true.
be that you did lose weight from some excess weight, which would mean you're being dehydrated.
But I've been drinking water like a beast because I know right now as much as I've been because of not having AC, as much as I've been sweating, I know I need to replace some fluids because my body is running through it.
I'm kind of used to the heat, but this is hot.
But it's one thing. It's like I have never been so happy to go to work
Because they have
just because they got
Nice.
AC.
For me, it was the opposite. For me,
And one time I was glad I wasn't working from home. Okay,
Work
like
tomorrow.
oh shit, I
Get
gotta
up
go.
extra early.
I get to-
Get there early so you can get in good.
Right? I get to go sit in the AC all day tomorrow? Hell yes.
mine was the opposite. Come home, at home in the AC, and I have to go to an open warehouse. So whatever it is outside, add about 20 degrees inside the
Oh, yeah.
warehouse, and I was next to a furnace, so it did not help at all. So
I can
I'm
imagine.
this is why I like
But in
this.
the winter months, you was glad for that shit.
Hell yes. Standing next to a 3,000 degree furnace, and everybody else freezing on the other side. Yeah, Fuck
shit.
yeah.
Look,
My furnace.
You wasn't mad to go to work during the freeze, huh?
My furnace.
Yeah, you sure you don't need extra shifts?
Like, man, I'll stay here for a little bit. It's kind of warm.
He's like, why he next
Appreciate
to the furnace? Because cold.
Oh, but before I forget, if you want to check us out, if you want to join us on the show, please go to the website, www.thedailysmoke.com. That's THA dailysmoke.com. Please go to the website. Look for the link that says, have you ever been experienced? That's where you go to fill out the form. So if you want to be a guest on the show, or if you just want to come sit and hang out with us, You don't even have to be on camera if you don't want to.
We can just call in.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually encourage people to come join us and watch the show. So please let us know. Couple things that we got coming up. Okay, for those of y'all in Houston, we got Comic Palooza coming up in July. We gonna do Comic Palooza, y'all. So be ready to get some interesting footage from Comic Palooza. So me and B finna hit this up and we finna do our thing. So
I just want to know what costume you want to see me in. That's
Black Jesus. Black Jesus. We gonna get you a robe. We gonna get you a robe and some sandals made out of old tires.
You know?
You stupid.
We gonna get you a robe and some sandals made out of recycled tires, nigga. That's what we're gonna do.
What?
Or either that, or I've seen those ones where they make sandals out of like old soda bottles.
Hey, we can do that. Hey, it's just whatever. Where you want to see this nigga with that? Well, if I'm Jesus, Kim's Moses.
If I do anything, I said I would go as Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm about to say Moses.
I got the beard for it, you know what I'm saying? I could do it.
I'm saying if I'm Jesus, Kim's Moses.
No. I can't do Moses. I don't believe in it no more.
Did you have a staff at one point?
I still do. I actually have a stick that I use for walking when I exercise. When I start exercising again. So yeah, I broke it off of a matter of fact. I went walking in the Houston Arboretum. If you've never been to the Houston Arboretum, it's like right in the Galleria area. It's free to the public. They do ask for donations, but of course you don't have to. But it's basically just a nature trail.
Yeah.
And like almost like a wild forest, but it's not really a wild forest. But it's just inside the city of Houston. And like you can literally go and like they have like places where like they just got wild fields of wildflowers and stuff like that. And like if you go in the springtime when the weather's nice or like it's been raining, you'll go and like you'll see bees and all kinds of little insects floating around, hummingbirds and shit. They have a couple little ponds where they have turtles. It's real nice, man. Of course, right now.
That's inside Galleria?
Not inside the Galleria, but it's close to the Galleria. It's like 610 in Woodway.
Because I know we'll go to Herman Park. They got that lake out there.
Yeah.
You can go and
the big hill and all of that. Yeah.
Around everywhere out there. Yeah.
I'm fishing, so cool.
But yeah, man, if y'all go check it out. But either way, I found this. I was out there with the kids one time and found this stick, and it was just like a long tree branch, and I was just like, okay. So took it home, sanded it down, oiled it to get a nice little shine and keep the wood from drying out. And I've had it probably now for maybe 5 years or so. The sucker's still just as strong. I did that and a cane. The cane is actually made out of oak wood, but I don't know what kind of wood the walking stick is.
With that beating stick.
Well, it comes in handy. Like my mama said, it said keep a nigga off me stick.
Yeah. My dad actually used to have one. He was like that get off me stick. So
see, now you old school if you know about a get off me stick, all right? But shoot, man.
What's up, everyone? But yes, we're about to dive into some stuff. We're still gonna just talk about shit off our head.
I mean, dude.
But we have a topic for you tonight, even though it's just one episode. But we're gonna try to give as much information that we can about it, and our thoughts on it.
You know how we do. Whenever something new comes out, especially if it's like a series,
yeah,
we want to talk about it because we want to give you our first impressions. But ultimately, we are just like we did with Moon Knight, just like we're doing with Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're gonna revisit once the series is done to give you our full impressions, our recap. Tell you what we thought about how everything went. Yeah, we definitely, y'all already know we don't hold nothing back when it comes to spoilers. So we tell you the whole plot and dare you to say something about it. So, all right.
Anyway,
but yeah, man, Miss Marvel is interesting show. But we'll get more into that later. But
yeah, for right now, we just chatting right now. So, Los and Los, anything you have to say?
No, man, I'm good.
Man, we got some authors.
We did that live show today.
Oh yeah.
Right, we got people coming on.
Yeah, we got some guests coming up, dude. We got some guests coming up. A couple of authors, a couple of female authors. not necessarily in a vein of like sci-fi, but more like you know, more like I guess you could say nonfiction stories. One of the books that they did was a book of collection of stories from mothers, you know, and just their experiences with motherhood and their thoughts on it and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be real interesting. I'm looking forward to the conversation. The ladies that we're going to have, and I'll tell y'all when we get a little bit closer, because it's going to be coming up in July. But when we get a little bit closer, I'll give y'all more details. But yeah, I think y'all are going to really enjoy the conversation for that one. So keep in mind, like we always say, if you're any kind of creative, it doesn't matter whether it's art, doesn't matter whether it's writing, doesn't matter whether it's comics or anime or anything else that you might be doing. Hell, even the brother out there who's writing the Night Skins storyline for D&D, hey, if you just so happen to come across this one day on YouTube, brother, we love to have you on the show. So yeah, if you're anybody out there like that, go to the website, www.thedailysmoke.com. Look for the link that says, have you been experienced? And click that link, send us your information. We'll see you on the show, man. We'll make sure you get here.
Oh, yeah, and shout out to Big Haven.
Yeah,
love y'all brothers.
Big Haven.
Love y'all brothers.
Our first interview really on the Smoke Session.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a few guests, but that was our first interview.
Yeah, they still kicking out. And yes, if you can, check out the link below. They're there. Check these brothers
Interesting
out.
stuff, man. They got a character named Gary the
Mothman.
The Mothman. And I love it because he's a superhero. That's just like the best. But yeah, man, y'all check it out. I don't know, man. I've been watching some interesting stuff on TV lately, dude. I watched there's an anime on Netflix.
What you got?
Called The Orbital Children.
Explain for me.
It's interesting because, okay, it's set in the future where you have a space station that orbits the Earth, but it's not just a science space station. It's a commercial space station. It has a hotel, like people can come there for visits and stuff like that.
I eat them.
So basically, but you have a couple of kids on this space station who were born at a colony that was on the moon. So they've never been to Earth. They've only ever lived in space.
Oh, that's gonna suck them when they come down.
Well, the thing about it is like as the show progresses, what you have is a group of kids who are visiting from Earth, because like they don't call it YouTube, of course, but in the future they have something that's equivalent to YouTube. And the boy that lives in space, he's like one of the most popular streamers on their YouTube, you know, because he does a lot of political commentary. He thinks humanity should leave the Earth and live only in space. And, you know, he's real staunch in his beliefs and things like that. So it gets interesting where they go with the show. So if you get a chance to check it out, Orbital Children on Netflix, it's not your typical anime because it's not a lot of action. It's not like fighting or anything like that. There's some dramatic scenes where, because they're in space, like they have some the space station they're on gets damaged at one point, and that causes a whole lot of turmoil. I haven't finished it yet, but it's really interesting, man.
I check it out like a show to me.
Right, good story, well written, and the characters are interesting.
Nice and flushed out.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got a conflict between the main space kid, I call them, because I don't remember their names, and I'm sorry about that.
Kid.
But you have the main guy who's the space kid, and then you have one of the kids from Earth that's visiting, who is like, I guess you could say he's a white hat hacker, right? And so when he gets to the space station, he realizes that the space kid has hacked they have these little droids that they use like as assistants. Oh, one of the things that I thought was really cool in the show, okay, so instead of cell phones, they don't have cell phones. They wear these gloves that turns your hand into the screen and everything.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and I forgot what they call it, but it's just like, and it's on both sides of the glove. So like you can even see stuff, like it'll show graphics and stuff on the back of your hand. You can talk through it. You can post videos to,
Right.
the web and all this kind of stuff.
That's like on Star Trek Discovery. They just do something, a little screen pops up right here, and they can in the air.
Hey, we getting there, but
Eventually, we're gonna make it there,
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Eventually, we're gonna make it there. Technology is advancing at a rate that's exponential at this point, man. Where we're gonna be in 20, 30 years from now,
A bunch of out of work motherfuckers.
but you know what's gonna happen though, and you can disagree if you want, but what's gonna wind up happening is it's gonna get to the point where automation and AI does so much that we're not gonna have to work anymore, or at least not the way we do right now. And once you start reducing the working population, they're gonna have to start just paying people to exist, man. I'm telling you.
oh, I gotta bring this one up. Even though we kind of love different robots, the one with the old woman and the dog with the AI vacuum cleaner.
Oh yeah.
That one was interesting to me.
I thought that one was a bit over the top, man. I
Well,
get.
but you have to think about it. It's like
Like
this.
the yogurt took over.
Well, you have to think about it. It's like when we got so relaxed and so confident on, just dependent on machines and all to do it for us. What happens when they fucking turn against us?
But here's the thing. If okay, I think where a lot of
The whole AI expected.
hold on, because if you think about it, AI exists now, right? But AI is not intelligent like we're intelligent. It's a different thing. So to say that it's gonna think like us or come to the same conclusions as us, that's a lack of forethought on the idea of what AI is or could be.
Well, it depends on how much
Because
you put into it. So,
right, I mean, anything is that is programmed by man can be influenced by man.
Right.
So if AI goes bad, it's because man programmed it in such a way where that was possible.
You bad. Yeah.
So we're only limited by our own capacity. And if we learn how to coexist, if we learn how to get along, if we finally get over a lot of the stupid bullshit that holds us back as a people, and I'm talking about the human race, then we can get away from then we might be able to see something where we could create an AI that creates an AI, and that would be that leap forward. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's interesting. The potential for the things that the human race could do in the next, hell, even 40, 50 years. If you think about, you're 50 years old, Bobby. When you were born, cell phones didn't exist.
Right.
nope. All I had was Star Trek and the option. Like, oh, I was
People still had black and white TV.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't
Internet
have,
wasn't even a thought.
right. The internet existed, but only in one school in some college up north,
While they were testing it.
because they were the ones who created it.
Yeah.
And then the government started using it, and
Yeah.
then it made its way to the general public.
No, then porn started streaming, and then it made it's because of them we get all the streaming shit. Man.
Sex makes the world go round,
That
man.
crazy?
Sex makes the world go
They're
round.
like the
Think about it.
innovators of a lot of shit, man.
If it wasn't for sex, the human race would still be sitting in caves.
Right.
Dudes just trying to impress chicks. That's all. We only invent stuff because we want her to go ooh and give us some.
We like him better.
Right.
Don't give me a
And if you think about it, even now, society-wise, we're starting to push away from men being respected so much for their physical prowess
yeah.
to men being respected for their intelligence and their ability to earn.
Right.
It's not because you don't necessarily get chose anymore because you could beat everybody's ass, but you might get chose because you can buy everybody.
That's where we're going. More money,
No
better
power.
you live.
Say, but all right, man. Let's get into this Miss Marvel because we way down a rabbit hole. If you could bring up number 1 for me, Lois. Now,
I liked it.
honestly, man, enjoyed it. It was nice. It was cute.
Yeah, it's cutesy. That's
It was
what I call
fun.
it. It was cute.
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Remember back in the day when we used to watch Boy Meets World?
Oh, damn, bro.
Wait, no. Am I thinking about no?
I'm
What's the one with Fred Savage? I'm getting confused.
Wonder
Wonder Years. That's what I was thinking about. Because the beginning of this show reminded me of Wonder Years. Because it was like
okay.
it was a real slice of life kind of experience watching the first episode of this.
Almost kind of breaking the fourth wall just a little bit.
You have, and if you could go to number 2, you have our main character, which her name is Kamala Khan. And of course, she eventually becomes Miss Marvel. But the actress that's playing her name is Iman Vellani. And she's 19 years old, so she's still relatively young. But she's playing a character that's like supposed to be, I think, like 15 or 16.
16,
But she's
I
a
believe.
young Pakistani American girl
Mm-hmm.
growing up with somewhat traditional Pakistani parents, and at the same time, of course, she's growing up in America, in Jersey, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
You know, in Jersey.
And of course, the Avengers, that happens for her, so.
Right. So she exists in the Marvel universe where the Avengers and, superheroes and the Hulk and all of these things.
So she knows all these people.
Right.
Yeah.
She's lived through the blip. She's lived through all this. She's a fan. As a matter of fact, if you could go to number 6. The show starts off with her doing a video on her YouTube channel called Sloth Baby Productions, which, by the way, is an actual YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and you type in Sloth Baby Productions, it will
That's
take
her.
you to a channel that is dedicated to the show Marvel, Miss Marvel on YouTube. So check that out. There's only like 8 videos up, but it's a promotional thing for the show. So check it out. It's just kind of fun.
And then, the main character, she was already a fan of Miss Marvel before she was brought in.
She's a fan of all the heroes. Just Miss Marvel happens to be her favorite.
Yeah.
So, but she literally makes videos on the show. Her character makes videos where she animates, like does the what do you call it when you cut and it's just like the outlines of characters, kind of like South Park.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That style of
Yeah.
animation. So she does like a cut and paste kind of animation thing where she's got these characters that she's drawn and she animates them and makes them move and stuff. But it's really cool. And then, of course, that's how the show opens up. And then you see her basically getting ready to take her driving test. And her family is kind of giving her a little bit of a hard time about it. So if you could, let's go to number 4. Yusuf Khan is the dad, played by Mahan Kapoor.
I like him.
Seems like a really cool actor. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything before, but
I like his energy.
Yeah, he plays the nice guy dad well.
Yeah.
Then if you could, number 5, Los, we got Muniba Khan,
The mob.
which sounds like the name of an alien conqueror.
Khan.
Played by Zenobia Shroff. Okay, and so that's the mom in the TV show. And then one of the real main characters that you need to know about the show, if you could, let's go to number 3, is Bruno Corelli, who plays her best friend. And that's played by an actor named Matt Lentz. And even though he's playing like a 15, 16-year-old,
Yeah.
I looked it up and he's like 23.
Hey, it goes that way. But anyway,
That's Hollywood for you.
Right.
So, but basically,
it's
she's a little bit of like this, repressed kind of dreamer kid who fantasizes a lot. She exists in her art. She lives in her artwork. She draws a lot. She animates characters and all this kind of stuff. And she's a huge fan of all like the characters, the heroes that we know and love from the MCU. She loves Iron Man and Captain America and all this. And the whole thing is,
She will remind you, I didn't mean to cut you off, but she will remind you of Peter Parker from Spider-Man. With that that average, that everyday.
Yeah.
So
She's relatable.
yeah,
She's
a relatable character like that. So as I said, it's good. I wasn't mad at it. So,
And I mean,
it reminds me of
realistically,
that. So,
she represents the Marvel fandom.
yeah.
That's really what her character was meant to represent in the first place. And that's why I included that one picture where it's showing her side by side, number 2 Los, where it's showing her side by side with a comic book character. Because in the comic books, even her character was like that. She was a real fan of the heroes in the Marvel universe. Because she was a teenage girl who grew up in a world where you have real freaking superheroes. You know what I'm saying?
To see Hulk walk by. And shit.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
You see some terrorist stuff, and then next thing you know, you see Captain America
On TV.
come out of nowhere and start kicking butt and taking names. You know.
Yeah.
That's
So,
this rich dude flying in the iron suit and shit.
and
Yeah.
if you lived in a world where that stuff was real, how could you not be fans of it? Especially if you was a
They're
teenager.
good guys.
Right. They're the good guys. They're trying to save it.
But yet at the same time, some people would be fans of the bad guys.
But then, well,
Well-
that too. But what's interesting too is you also have to remember that this is the world post Blip. So you
Half the
had
people left.
you had people that have been gone for 5 years and just recently came back.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a world that's been thrown upside down because in 5 years the world adjusted to not having those people there.
Yeah, half the population was gone. So
I wonder. One of the things, it's just total side note, but one of the things I always wondered about the whole Blip, I'm like, everybody on Earth wasn't happy to see them folks back.
I
Right?
know after
Some
it's like
people were like, man,
it's like, oh not my real estate, gas is cheap now. Oh crap! Here we go.
Imagine if you had an abusive spouse
they disappeared on your ass.
and they disappeared,
And then now they're
Probably
back.
5 years later.
but you would have
ass beat. What you been doing 5 years, bitch?
you would have moved on, probably
Yeah.
remarried and everything
If
and
he's
all.
abusive, he's gonna come to his house. Who the fuck is this? And they're not gonna understand that you've been gone 5 years.
Right. Well, no, because it seems like most of the people who returned from the Blip knew something had happened.
Oh.
They didn't come back just thinking like, no time had passed. It seemed like they came back kind of aware, even if they didn't fully understand what happened.
Yeah,
Most people came back with some kind of wait a minute, what? Hold on.
things are different.
Right.
Things are different.
Some things have changed. What the fuck?
Oh, you got blipped out for 5
Yeah.
years. So yeah, shit's
Actually, I've
changed.
been gone for 5 years. That's what changed.
So you have these realities in the world that this girl is growing up in. You got to imagine that's going to make, could you imagine trying to focus on just like regular everyday school work? When you could turn on the TV at any given moment and see the Hulk jumping through a building.
I know.
I know I wouldn't be able to focus.
Hey,
But that's the kind of character that we run into with Kamala Khan. Is she's basically this dreamer, and even so much so that she gets pulled in to her counselor's office at one point during the show because he's basically like her teachers have been complaining like you're always drawing, you're always doodling in class, you're not paying attention, you're spacing out because you daydreaming, that whole kind of thing. So it's really one of those. She's one of those kind of characters, and then.
I actually did kind of like the way they did the whole art style and the interactions and even with the teacher, how they just
split screen that
yeah,
they
the
did,
split screen
and
and
all
that
that.
little
That was pretty cool.
animations. Yeah, I'm like that's
You know
that's
what was
cool.
my favorite part? Okay, so when they were doing the text conversation between her and Bruno,
Yeah,
between Kamala and Bruno, so they had a scene where the two main characters were basically texting each other back and forth. But instead of showing, how normally on a movie or TV when they show texting, they'll just pop up bubbles on the screen or something like that. No. Your boy was walking across the street, and her response to him came up. No, wait. It started in her room. She was in her bedroom, lights turned off, and she had one of those star night lights go on that make stars on the ceiling. And her text message to him appeared in the stars on the ceiling, and it said she said no because she had asked her mom about going to this Avenger con that they have it in the show, and so the star said she said no, and so he gets a text message. He's walking across the street, and normally where might have like crosswalk or something painted on the street, his response was sad face, ugh, and it appeared on the street like it was painted on the street.
That's cool.
And then he walks to a building, and the neon signs on the building as they turn on reflect the text messages that they're sending back and forth to each
So
other.
that's the imagery that we're looking at.
They like incorporated a lot of this stuff into the background scenery of the show. So you really kind of have to watch everything. Like the backgrounds on some scenes are not static, in other words. So pay attention when you do watch the show. So if you haven't watched it yet, please make sure you pay attention to the little details.
I even liked when she was just texting explaining to Bruno. She did the whole little illustration on a blackboard, but the way her imagination is so imaginative. She had this whole scheme of how she was going to sneak out the house, this and this, and you're looking through her eyes and her imagination.
Right.
Her flying out the window, grabbing on a branch, flipping upside down, landing. Or we're gonna take our bikes and then the bus is down here on the bridge. We're gonna take our bike, jump over the bridge, with the whole dramatic fashion and all this just to sneak out. But this is her imagination. So.
And if you could go to number 7 for me, Los. So this is her in her room, and as you can see, even one of the things that I did notice about the episode is there's a lot of purple
and pink,
purple lighting in a lot of things. And when she does finally get her powers, it kind of manifests in a purplish, pinkish kind of glow to it. Yeah,
bluish.
But they give you that sense of it throughout the scenes with that color appearing a lot in the background. And then if you can go to number 8, that's actually part of her costume that she's planning to wear to this Avenger Con, which is like Comic Con, but of course
Avengers. They
have real life Avengers. And she's gonna go, of course, as her favorite superhero, Captain Marvel. And then it goes through like one day of her being at school, and that's when you get introduced to kind of,
I would say, an antagonist.
Number 9. The character's name is Zoe Zimmer. And she's played by Laurel Marsden. And her character is kind of like the popular snooty girl, the girl who's too cool to actually,
the popular chick,
the girl who's too cool to actually make friends with a girl like Kamala because she's a commoner, But as a side note too, one of my favorite characters in the show so far was her brother, number 10. His name is Amir Khan, played by, and I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize in advance. Sagar, because Saagar, I'm saying Sagar.
Pronounce it.
Shakar, I'm thinking.
Shakar.
Now, interesting part, he's from San Antonio.
The Texan.
Yeah, he's a Texan. So he was born here. So, fellow Texans, shout out to you, Mr. Sir. Good job on the Marvel show.
Everything better.
First of all, awesome beard, dude. I was digging your whole beard vibe.
Right.
Good energy on the beard. But he's basically playing her older brother, and he seems to really care for his sister. At one point, when her parents get mad at her, he kind of plays intermediary and tries to smooth things over with them convinces them rather to let her go to the Avenger Con, but then she screws it up because they want her and the dad to dress alike in Big Hulk, Little Hulk costumes. I can understand why she wouldn't want to do it.
If you saw the costumes, I'm like,
as a true fan, you would have been offended. I get that it was supposed to be like a sweet attempt to try to bond with
mom and dad trying but still
some things you can do wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just some things you can do wrong. Big Hulk, Little Hulk is not a thing.
Oh yeah. And then her response to it was not the correct one, but being a teenager just.
But then the interesting part comes when she gets a package from her grandmother. Okay? And so just out of the blue, package arrives in the mail, and it's a box from her grandmother, I'm assuming back in Pakistan, and basically the box contains some gifts, some things that the grandmother wanted to pass along to her. And one of those things is a large bracelet, a bangle bracelet.
Number 12.
If you could, number 12, Los. And when she first pulls it out the box, what kind of foreshadows things to come is that when the mother sees it, she instantly gets angry. And she snatches it away from her, and she's like,
No. She's like, no.
Yeah. She's like, no.
She knew
This
what it was.
is
Somehow.
and later on she does make a comment as they're driving in the car, like, oh, my mother was a dreamer and lived in her imagination too, so I know what trouble that brings. So it makes you wonder, because it seems like the ability that she gains from this bracelet allows her to kind of manifest thoughts, like kind of like Green Lantern. And with that being the case, that seems to kind of indicate maybe the mom knew something of what the grandmother could do and how it maybe led her life down a path that wasn't all that great.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of a foreshadowing there. So I'm thinking we might get a family history reveal, that there's some powers that run in the family some kind of way.
I'm pretty sure it's going to reveal some of that. Cause you got to explain it. So.
But so long story short, she finally puts on the bracelet as a part of her Comic-Con or Avenger Con costume. As a part of her Avenger Con costume, dressing as Miss Marvel. And when she puts it on, her body gets encased in like this purplish glow. And she, for a second, kind of falls back, but it's not physically falling, it's just in her mind. But she's like, for a second, submerged in this world where everything is like colored in this purple light. And
there's actually an Easter egg in that.
well, you saw the people in the background with the eyes glowing. And so some people think that might be like a shadow realm kind of thing.
Well,
but
actually, I'm thinking that's more because of the actual lore as far as Miss Marvel. I'm thinking that's more the Inhumans.
well, but nah, they've already said they're not doing the Inhuman angle in this version, because you really would have to go through an actual transformation. There's no 5-second Terrigen Mist transformation. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the cocoon.
Well,
Because they even in the Inhuman TV show, they did that. Even though from what I understand, that may not be canon.
yeah.
But even in Agents of Shield, Marvel Agents of Shield, they did it too, because they touched on the Inhumans in that show as well. But either way, she puts the bracelet on, and when she gets encased in the purple energy, she realizes something has changed. She realizes right off the bat that, okay, this is not just a piece of jewelry. Something is happening. So she gets on stage to go for the competition, because there's a costume competition. Number 13, Los. And as she's getting up there, the cameras and everything is flashing at her. Everybody's taking pictures at the convention, and that starts to kind of freak her out. She starts to have a bit of a reaction to all the flashing lights. And in the midst of doing that, she winds up shooting off the first kind of
Crystallization.
The way they described it was hard light, is the way they described it.
That's interesting way to say it.
That's her ability, basically. She can manifest things, different shapes, constructions, and things like that out of hard light. And so that's what you see actually come out of her hands. And so she shoots off a couple of like sparks of it, and pieces of it knock out a giant Ant-Man head that they had as one of the displays in the show.
What was the head made out of? Because that wasn't styrofoam.
No, that head seemed like it was made out of stone.
Yeah,
because it was like smashing through walls.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and instead of being a mass panic, everybody was kind of cheering, especially when the hit with the glitter bomb or whatever. Now the glitter, everybody like, yeah. But
and then it wound up knocking loose this giant version of Mjolnir, and it started swinging across the top the room in the convention, and it hits her friend Zoe from school. because she was there at the convention dressed in a skimpy Captain Marvel costume.
It wasn't even character accurate.
And so, and so the hammer hits her, and as it hits her, it swings up into the air, and then as it comes back, it starts to drop her down.
No, it actually landed against the wall, and she got knocked down after that. I don't.
That's
know.
right. That's right.
I'm thinking that was styrofoam because she would have been killed after that.
But
anyway.
as she's falling, Kamala uses her newfound abilities to stretch out a long, hard, light hand and catches her as she falls, and just enough to save her from actually getting hurt, basically.
And Zoe was like, "Oh, I love you."
And Miss Marvel is born.
Yep.
Origin story complete. You know what I'm saying? So all that happens, and then mind you, she snuck out of the house to go to this convention. So now she's got to sneak back in. The original plan was for her to be home by 9:22.
Yeah.
When you see when she actually gets home,
It's
it's 11:11. So I think she missed it by just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And of course, mom is going. Our parents gonna be right there. Like, where the hell you been?
She climbed through the window. Mom's sitting in the dark in the room, and you know you done fucked up when
I've
mom
been
is
there,
sitting in the dark in the room.
Been there, done that.
I come home late as fuck. I always come home straight to the kitchen, get my bowl of cereal, and as soon as the kitchen light comes on, like, you know what time it is? Like, oh shit, the fuck?
Like,
Mom
why are you
sitting in the
awake?
chair, like, you been sitting in that chair, you been sitting in that chair in the dark. Like, shit.
Nah, I got caught by both parents when I came home. I'm not gonna say what I did, but when I came home,
He was fucking.
when I came home, everything looked like the way I left it, and then I noticed two figures sitting on the couch in the dark, and then I look, and they looking right at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, yeah, y'all got me.
Busted.
See,
Even though I came home like with 3 a.m, but yeah, they got me.
I never got caught, dude. Not sneaking in the house. I never got caught sneaking out, and I never got caught sneaking back in.
See, for me, it was never. I never even snuck out of bed. I just coming home. She happened to be there late. My mom wouldn't go to sleep till I came home.
See,
Well, I took the car,
Yeah,
so they
even if I
just.
came home and didn't see her, I go my, eat my bowl of cereal, go to my room. 20 minutes later, I feel like go open and close. She'd have to make sure I'm home when she puts sleep. Yeah.
No, I took the family car, so yeah, they already knew.
I would sneak out after my mom fell asleep, and then go out wherever I was gonna go, and then I'd come back home probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and sneak in before she had to get up for work, and she never know.
The thing is, I only got caught that one time.
But see, okay,
I only got caught that one time.
I was the
rest
youngest.
of them-
I was the youngest of 4 siblings, so I'd watched my siblings do it and get caught, so I knew what not to do.
Right.
I knew how not to get caught because I saw them get caught. I saw my sister get caught, saw my older brother get caught, and after watching them get caught, I was like, oh, okay, well, I won't do those things.
Right.
And so I just never got caught.
It was just that one time for me, but the rest of the times, good, we're good. It's just that one time I fucked up, and there we go.
But okay, so
Post credit.
we're gonna wrap this up real quick, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw. No, I'm sure you probably do.
That's her costume number 14?
That is her dressed as Captain Marvel. So she hasn't gotten her own costume yet because she just came into her powers. But so right now, all she has is the Captain Marvel costume.
That was created by what's his name, Bruno.
Yeah, her best friend made the costume for her so she could dress up at the convention. But I did want to mention the post-credit scene on this one. So I know Marvel doesn't usually do post-credit scenes until like the later episodes of their shows, but in this one they did a post-credit scene, and it's important that you watch it because they're telling you something.
Yeah, it
Okay.
ties into some.
16?
So 17 actually. 17 actually.
What's in it?
So okay, if you watched Spider-Man, what was it? Far Away from Home.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Spider-Man, No Way Home. When Peter Parker and them were getting interviewed by the Damage Control, which is a federal agency that they came up with just to deal with the fallout from superhero activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch, the guy in the white shirt is the same cop that was interviewing Peter Parker and them from No Way Home. Now, since we know that they're going to do the Marvels, which is Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Photon, Monica Rambeau,
From Wanda.
one of the things that we know that's also coming up is Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. Yes.
Secret Wars. And
I'm waiting
that's
for it.
that's coming up, which involves the Kree and the Skrull. The Kree and the Skrull are both alien races, and the Kree are actually responsible for the Inhumans existing on Earth in the first place.
Sound like some Star Trek.
The Inhumans were genetic experiments that the Kree was trying to use for soldiers. So you see when as members of Damage Control, they're looking at the footage of Kamala Khan activities at the convention, because of course she did this in public, so people posted the video online. So when they're looking at the footage, they're like, okay, I've never seen powers like that. You see a look cross across this guy's face where he's like, where the other cop is saying, oh, I've never seen powers like that. He's kind of looking like, I have, So it makes you wonder, is he maybe like, because the Skrull are shapeshifters, and we already know that there's some hiding on Earth.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, could he be a Skrull in hiding, and he's realizing, okay, that's a Kree ability. So it could be one of those situations where he might try to make a move on it,
Or the grandma knows something.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
She
So
might be a Kree.
yeah, so it's interesting to see it's going to be interesting to see where they go with it. We're going to definitely be watching it, and like I said, after the end of it, once everything's done, we're going to come back and talk about it again and give you our impressions, see where we were right and see where we were wrong. So
Right.
feel free to tell us your opinions down in the comments. We'd be interested to see what y'all might think about this one, because I know with the show Miss Marvel, by the time y'all see this, there will have been a couple episodes out by then.
Yeah.
But let us know, if we call something out and it was wrong, let us know. We'd appreciate your input on it, because we definitely want to come back to it and talk about it when everything's said and done.
I just want to do Secret Wars and mention the name Beyonders. That's all I want to hear, and I will be happy.
Hold on, though.
Right.
So, in a Marvel-related scenario, have you seen the trailer for the Midnight Suns video game?
Yes, Lord.
Have you seen the trailer? And what did I say? What did I say? What did I say during when we talked about Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? I said we building the stage. The Midnight Suns. Here they come with a Midnight Suns video game. They're introducing y'all to the concept of the Midnight Suns, because they finna do it in the MCU. I'm telling you. Telling you.
Demonic Hulk. Dude.
Telling you. If you haven't seen it,
trailer.
go check out the trailer for the Midnight Suns video game. The last scene is gonna make you go, oh shit.
Yeah. Lilith.
All I'm gonna say is Demonic Hulk.
Demonic Vim.
That's a whole nother conversation. So go check that out. But yeah, man. So overall, I enjoyed Miss Marvel. I thought it was a good show.
It's cutesy. I was like, I like the visuals and all that, so I had no problem in the character building, and I think everybody did overall so far did a good job of portraying that.
Okay.
Like I said, I love the visuals. So
I'm trying to think, what was the name of that show with Zoe Deschanel? She played like this girl who lived with like 3 guys.
it sounds familiar.
I used to watch it all the time, but I forgot the name of it now. And one of the characters' name was Schmitz. I remember that dude. He was a real conceited kind of asshole dude. But either way, it reminds me of that show because it's a cute show. There's a little bit of romance in between her, like a Nala Simba kind of moment, of romance between her and her best friend. So you know that they're probably going to touch on that later on. But it was sweet. It was nice. It was simple. It was cute. So if you're looking for something light that's not gonna just like tax you down with a whole bunch of dark, heavy, overtones and stuff like that, Miss Marvel would probably be a good show for you, especially this first episode. It was really good, and enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a good, I would say, adaptation. Well, no, it's not adaptation, but a good look at a fresh character.
Yeah.
So,
they did change up some things from the comic book,
of course,
because of course in the comic book her powers, she was an Inhuman. Her powers came from the Terrigen Mist, and she actually was a stretcher, kind of like Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. But she also has the ability to shapeshift, so she can make herself look like other people. So that's actually kind of cool. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do with changing up her powers and making it this kind of hard light kind of thing. So
yeah,
I'm
I gotta get used to that, but still.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. So overall, I give it a
So far for the first episode, I give it. I'm gonna go straight. I'm just gonna go midline. So I'm gonna give it a 3 for right now.
I give it a 4. I give it a straight up 4, because I mean, for me, it checked off a lot of the boxes. It was fun. It was cute. It was a good story, well acted.
Yes.
And at the very same time, it's a character that I don't know a lot about outside of the show. So for me, I get to kind of the feel of these people who aren't Marvel fans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I get to just appreciate the show for what it is.
Yeah, the same way.
So for me, that you doing that well, I'm happy. I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's the same for me as far as Moon Knight. I know about the character, but I like the way they did the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if they can keep that route, I'm good.
Yeah. But all right, y'all. I think we're gonna wrap it up. Unless anybody else got something to say.
No.
Right. So don't forget, y'all. Please check out the website www.thedailysmoke.com. Want to know what we're talking about? Want to join us on the show? Want to just come and sit and hang out and have a drink with us? Go to the website. And
Money sign. Oh yeah, $sign TD Smoke. If you have any donations that we would love to have, of course. But if you cannot donate, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. That would do it the same as the donation. So please, if you can, I'm your boy, Black Hand.
your boy, Brother Jam.
Brother Lowe's on the cam.
And we are the Daily Smoke. Thank you for
Peace.
joining us on the smoke session. And peace.
Later.
Me time.